Men over 60. MD reveals the 3 forgotten drinking rules that boost vitality and stronger flow. Gentlemen, let me ask you something. What if that feeling of losing a step, of your energy just completely fading in the afternoon, wasn't just about the number on your driver's license? Most men, they blame age, or they think it must be their hormones. And look, those things do play a part. But in my practice, after seeing hundreds of men, I've found a hidden culprit, something that's often overlooked, something that quietly sabotages your strength and your circulation every single day. And it's this: how you drink your water. Now, this isn't just my theory. Research from the prestigious Journal of Applied Physiology confirms it. They found that even mild dehydration, the kind you don't even feel yet, can significantly reduce your blood volume. This forces your heart to work so much harder, and it slows circulation to, well, every part of your body. It makes me think of my patient, Michael, a 68-year-old man, sharp as a tack, who just felt his vitality slipping away. He was doing what he thought was right, chugging a ton of water at night, but that was actually making his energy and his performance worse. The change we made for him, it was incredibly simple. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, and in this video, I am going to show you the 3 most common hydration mistakes that drain the energy right out of men over 60. More importantly, I'll give you a simple science-backed plan you can start tomorrow, a plan to help restore your energy, your circulation, and your confidence. And believe it or not, it costs absolutely nothing. All right, now that you understand why this is so critical, let's get right into the practical side of things. We're going to start with the first and arguably the most common mistake I see in my practice, a mistake that sets the tone for your entire day. I call it the morning coffee trap. Now, what is this trap? It's the incredibly common habit of starting your day with coffee, or tea, or really anything other than plain, simple water. But here's the critical mistake so many men make. They believe that a morning cup of coffee is what wakes them up. They feel that warmth, that jolt of caffeine, and they think, okay, now I'm ready to go. They think it's kickstarting their system, but in reality, it's doing the exact opposite. You're not starting your engine. You're actually siphoning fuel out of an already low tank. This habit, this simple morning ritual that millions of men share, it can quietly undermine your energy and your circulation before you've even had breakfast. It's a subtle form of self-sabotage that adds up, day after day, year after year. So, why? Why is this seemingly harmless habit so detrimental? The science is actually very straightforward. It all comes down to what's happening in your body while you sleep. For 7, 8, maybe 9 hours. You're not taking in any fluids, but your body is still working. You're breathing out moist air. You're sweating lightly, even in a cool room. Your kidneys are continuously filtering your blood and producing urine. All of these quiet, automatic processes use up water. So by the time your alarm clock goes off in the morning, your body is already in a natural state of dehydration. Your blood volume is lower than it was when you went to bed. Your blood is literally thicker. Now, what happens when you pour coffee on top of that situation? Coffee contains caffeine, which is a mild diuretic. A diuretic is any substance that makes your kidneys flush out more water and sodium from your body. So instead of replenishing the fluid you lost overnight, that first cup of coffee actually signals your body to get rid of even more water. It digs you deeper into a hydration deficit right at the beginning of the day. This isn't just a small thing. It means your heart has to pump harder just to move that thicker blood around. Your circulation starts the day running at a disadvantage. Your energy levels are compromised from the very first hour. And this isn't just a theory, it's basic physiology. Established medical science tells us that our bodies can lose up to a liter of water overnight just from normal metabolic functions. A diuretic beverage like coffee compounds this deficit. It directly impacts something called blood viscosity. That's just a scientific term for how thick or thin your blood is. And when blood viscosity increases, circulation efficiency decreases. It's a direct cause and effect relationship that starts with that first morning cup. To put it simply, think of your body's circulatory system like the engine in your car. Overnight, the oil level, your blood volume, has dropped a bit. Starting the day with coffee instead of water is like trying to start that car with low oil and then immediately loosening the drain plug. You're asking the engine to work harder with less of what it needs right from the get-go. It's simply not an efficient way to run the machine. You're starting the day at a significant disadvantage, and you'll likely feel the effects of that later in the afternoon. So, how do you avoid this trap? The solution is incredibly simple. It's not about giving up your coffee. I know for many of us that's just not going to happen. The solution is about timing. It's a simple rule I give to all my patients. Water first, then coffee. Make a pact with yourself. Before that first sip of coffee even touches your lips, drink 1 full glass of water. Around 12 to 16 ounces is ideal. You can have it by your bedside, ready to go. You can drink it while the coffee is brewing. The method doesn't matter. The sequence does. This simple act rehydrates your body. It replenishes your blood volume. It thins your blood back to a healthy viscosity, and it prepares your circulatory system for the day ahead. Then, you can enjoy your coffee, knowing you've already given your body what it truly needs first. I had a patient, a gentleman named David, a 65-year-old who for years complained about a crippling afternoon slump. Around 3 p.m., he'd say, he would just hit a wall. He couldn't focus. He had zero energy. For years, he'd been starting his day with 2 strong cups of black coffee, thinking it was the only way to get going. When I explained this concept to him, he was skeptical, but he agreed to try the water first rule, and he discovered a great synergy. He found that adding a small squeeze of lemon and a tiny pinch of sea salt to his morning water made him feel even better. The lemon helps support nitric oxide pathways, and the salt provides essential electrolytes you lose overnight. It's a small tweak, but for him, it made a world of difference. After about 2 weeks, he came back and told me that 3 p.m. wall, it was gone. He said it felt like his day had a foundation for the first time. That feeling, that fatigue you might feel in the afternoon, it doesn't start in the afternoon. It starts the moment you wake up, with the very first thing you drink. If you are someone who usually starts their day with coffee, just type the word guilty in the comments below. You are definitely not alone, and acknowledging it is the first step to fixing it. All right, so we've taken care of the morning, but that brings us to the second major mistake. And this one plays out over the course of the entire day. It's a pattern of behavior I see all the time, especially in busy men. I call this destructive pattern, the desert and flood cycle. So, what exactly is this cycle? It's the habit of drinking very little water throughout your entire workday, your desert phase, and then trying to compensate by chugging 2 or 3 large glasses in the evening when you get home, your flood phase. You go for hours on end with almost nothing, then you try to make up for it all at once. And here's the mistake. The flawed logic that so many people fall for. They think the body is like a simple bucket. They think, well, I need about 64 ounces a day, and as long as I get it all in before I go to bed, it all balances out. They believe the body can just catch up. It can take a large volume of water in a short period and distribute it perfectly to where it needs to go. But that is not how human physiology works. Not even close. This approach doesn't lead to hydration. It leads to stress on your system, and it actively works against the very energy and performance you're trying to improve. So why? Why is this cycle so damaging? Let's break down the 2 phases, starting with the desert. During the day, when you're busy working and only drinking small amounts of coffee or soda, your body is slowly but surely becoming more dehydrated. As we discussed, this increases your blood viscosity. Your blood gets thicker. Thicker blood flows more slowly and requires your heart to pump with more force. This is why you feel that classic afternoon fatigue. It's not always a blood sugar crash. Very often, it's a blood volume crash. Your brain, your muscles, your organs, they are all being starved of optimal oxygen and nutrient delivery because the transport system, your bloodstream, has become sluggish. You're essentially operating your body in a low-power mode all day long. Then comes the flood. You get home, realize you haven't had any water, and you down a huge glass, then another one with dinner, and maybe one more before bed. Now, you're suddenly overwhelming your system. This rapid, massive intake of fluid puts a sudden strain on your kidneys. Their job is to filter your blood and maintain a very delicate balance of fluids and electrolytes, like sodium and potassium, and this is backed by clear, established science. The kidneys have a processing limit. Medical textbooks will tell you that a healthy kidney can process, at most, about 1 liter of fluid per hour. When you flood your system with more than it can handle in a short time, your body can't absorb it efficiently. It triggers an emergency response. It says, "Whoa, too much fluid here. We need to get rid of this fast before it dangerously dilutes our blood electrolyte levels." So, what happens? You don't actually absorb and utilize most of that water. You simply excrete it. It runs right through you, taking valuable electrolytes with it. And where does it go? Straight to your bladder. This leads to the most immediate and frustrating consequence of the flood cycle. Disrupted sleep. You find yourself waking up at 1, 2, 3 in the morning, every single night, with an urgent need to use the bathroom. This isn't just an annoyance. Deep sleep is when your body does its most critical repair work. It's when you produce the majority of your growth hormone and, importantly for men, your testosterone. By constantly interrupting these deep sleep cycles, you are directly sabotaging your hormonal health, your next-day energy levels, and your body's ability to recover. To simplify this, I want you to think of your body like a parched, dry houseplant sitting in a pot. Imagine you've forgotten to water it for days. The soil is cracked and bone dry. If you take a gallon bucket of water and just dump it all on top at once, what happens? Most of that water doesn't soak in. It just runs over the hard topsoil, streams down the sides, and pours right out the drainage hole at the bottom. The roots, the parts that are actually thirsty, barely get any of it. That is exactly what happens in the flood cycle. The water goes in and comes right back out without doing much good in between. So, how do we avoid this? The solution is to completely shift your mindset. You need to move from a mindset of catching up to a mindset of keeping up. The goal is not to fill the bucket at the end of the day. The goal is to keep the soil, your body's tissues, consistently moist all day long. The most practical way to do this is to keep a water bottle with you at all times, your desk, your car, wherever you are. And you don't chug it. You just sip. Take a few sips every hour. That's it. A steady, consistent, low-volume intake is what your body craves. I had a patient, John, a 72-year-old retired engineer, who was convinced that waking up twice a night to urinate was just a non-negotiable part of getting older. He told me, "Doc, that's just what happens." He was a classic desert and flood drinker. We didn't put him on any medication. All we did was change his hydration strategy. He started sipping from a water bottle throughout the day and made a new rule for himself: no large amounts of fluid after 6 p.m. He discovered a great synergy with this approach. He noticed that if he went for a brisk walk in the late afternoon, he was naturally more inclined to sip water steadily, and he slept even more soundly. Within a week, he told me he was only waking up once. After a month, he was sleeping through the night for the first time in over a decade. He said, "I feel like I got 10 years of my life back." He felt more refreshed, his energy was better, and it all came from watering the plant correctly. This brings us now to our third and final mistake, and this one is perhaps the most deeply ingrained because it's based on a piece of advice we've heard our entire lives. This mistake is what I call relying on a faulty gauge. So, what is this faulty gauge? It's your sense of thirst. The mistake is the belief that you should only drink water when you feel thirsty. It's the idea that your body will always give you a clear, accurate, and timely signal when it needs fluids. For our entire lives, we've been told, listen to your body. And in many cases, that's excellent advice. But when it comes to hydration, especially for men over 50, that advice can be dangerously misleading. The critical mistake here is believing that thirst is a reliable, real-time indicator of your body's needs. It's the assumption that if you don't feel thirsty, then you must be perfectly hydrated. People think of thirst as an early warning system, like a low-fuel light on your car that gives you plenty of time to find a gas station. But that's not what it is at all. Thirst isn't an early warning. It's a late-stage alarm. It's a lagging indicator. It means the problem has already begun. So why? Why is this internal gauge, this sense of thirst, so unreliable, especially as we get older? The science behind this is fascinating and critically important for anyone over the age of 50 to understand. Your sense of thirst is a complex neurological signal controlled by your brain. As you become dehydrated, the concentration of salt and other substances in your blood increases. Specialized receptors in your brain detect this change and trigger the sensation we recognize as thirst. However, and this is the key point, this entire mechanism becomes less sensitive as we age. It becomes slower. It becomes weaker. The signal just isn't as loud or as quick as it was when you were in your 20s. And this isn't just a vague idea. It's a well-documented physiological fact. Studies on aging physiology published in respected journals like the New England Journal of Medicine consistently show a blunted thirst response in older adults. One landmark study even took groups of younger and older men, mildly dehydrated them under controlled conditions, and measured their responses. The older men reported feeling significantly less thirsty than the younger men, even though their physiological need for water was the same. The research is clear. Your brain's signal to drink arrives late, and it's often too quiet to notice. By the time an older man actually feels thirsty, his physical performance, his cognitive function, and his circulatory efficiency have already declined. The deficit is already there. To make this crystal clear, let's use an analogy. Relying on thirst to manage your hydration is like waiting for your car's oil pressure light to start flashing on the dashboard before you even think about getting an oil change. When that red light comes on, is that an early warning? Of course not. It's a critical alert. It means the oil level is already dangerously low, and damage to the engine may already be happening. The smart car owner doesn't wait for the warning light. They check the dipstick regularly. They change the oil on a schedule, proactively. Waiting for the light is reactive, and it's risky. That's exactly what thirst is. It's the flashing red light on your dashboard. So what is the practical application here? How do you apply this knowledge? The solution is a fundamental shift in strategy. You must move from drinking based on feeling to drinking based on a schedule. You have to be proactive, not reactive. My advice is simple. Drink by the clock, not by the craving. This doesn't mean you need to be obsessive, but it does mean you need a system. A very simple and effective system is to have a glass of water, about 8 ounces, every 1 to 2 hours throughout your day. You can set a quiet reminder on your watch or your phone if you need to. Or even better, just tie the habit to other things you already do. Finish a phone call, take a few sips of water, get up from your desk to stretch. Stop by the water cooler. The goal is to create a consistent, steady stream of hydration that prevents the alarm bell of thirst from ever needing to ring in the first place. This proactive approach is the real key to maintaining stable energy all day long. I had a patient, a very successful 69-year-old businessman named Robert, who was a classic thirst drinker. He'd get so wrapped up in his work that he'd go for 4 or 5 hours without a single sip of anything. He told me he just never felt thirsty during the day, but he complained of brain fog and an inability to concentrate in his afternoon meetings. He thought he was losing his mental edge. We implemented a simple drink-by-the-clock system for him. He set a recurring calendar alert on his computer for every 90 minutes. It just popped up with one word: water. What he discovered was a powerful synergy. He found that by being proactively hydrated, he was less likely to crave sugary snacks or an extra cup of coffee in the afternoon to try and push through the fog. The water itself was enough to sustain his mental clarity. He told me, "Doc, it's incredible. I feel like my brain has a constant source of fuel now instead of running on fumes and then waiting for a crisis." He stopped waiting for the warning light. And as a result, his engine just ran better all day long. So let me ask you, did you realize that thirst was a late signal? Was it a faulty gauge? If this idea is new to you, just take a moment and type "new to me" in the comments below. It's a powerful piece of information that can make a huge difference in how you feel every single day. Okay, we have now covered the 3 critical mistakes: the morning coffee trap, the desert and flood cycle, and relying on a faulty gauge. So now, the most important question is, what do we do instead? How do we put all of this knowledge into a simple, practical system that you can start using tomorrow morning without having to completely overhaul your life? This brings us to the solution, and it's a simple 2-part system that I call the Morning Reset and Steady Sipping System. This is the exact protocol I give to my male patients to build a powerful foundation for all-day energy and optimal circulation. Now, before we break it down, I need to point out the one mistake you must avoid when implementing this solution. The mistake is thinking you only need to do one part of it. Some men will get really good at the morning part, but then forget about the rest of the day. Others will try to sip water during the day, but they'll still skip the crucial first step in the morning. These 2 parts are not optional. They work together. They are designed as a complete system, and you need both for it to be truly effective. Doing one without the other is like trying to row a boat with only one oar. You'll just end up going in circles. So, why is this 2-part system so effective? Let's look at the science of each part. The first part, the morning reset, is designed to specifically counteract the dehydration that happens overnight. As we've established, you wake up with lower blood volume and thicker blood. The morning reset is a direct intervention to fix this immediately. By introducing a significant amount of water first thing, you rapidly restore your blood volume to optimal levels. This instantly makes your blood less viscous, or thinner, allowing your heart to pump more efficiently. It's like giving your entire circulatory system a fresh start. It wakes up your metabolism, it helps flush out toxins that have built up overnight, and it primes every cell in your body for the day ahead. The second part, the steady sipping system, is all about maintenance. Once you've reset your system in the morning, the goal is to maintain that optimal state of hydration all day long. By sipping small amounts of water consistently, you prevent your blood volume from dropping again. You keep your circulation running smoothly and efficiently. This provides a constant, stable delivery of oxygen and nutrients to your brain and muscles, which is the key to preventing that afternoon energy crash and maintaining mental clarity. You are keeping the system topped off, never allowing it to fall into a deficit. The science on this is incredibly robust. Multiple studies, including those published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, have demonstrated that proper morning hydration can lead to measurable improvements in cognitive function, mood, and physical performance throughout the day. Furthermore, consistent hydration is a key factor in maintaining stable blood pressure and a healthy heart rate, which is especially critical for men over 50. This isn't guesswork. It is a scientifically validated strategy for improving your body's core functions. To make this really simple to visualize, I want you to think about the plumbing system in your house. The morning reset is like going to the main water valve first thing in the morning and opening it all the way. You're establishing full pressure and flow to the entire system after it's been sitting quietly all night. Now the steady sipping system. That's like keeping a faucet running on a slow, steady trickle all day long. This action maintains a constant pressure throughout all the pipes. It ensures that anytime you need water, anywhere in the house, the pressure is there, instantly. You're never caught with a weak, sputtering flow when you need it most. That is exactly what this system does for your body's circulation. So how do you actually do this? Let's get into the specifics. For part 1, the morning reset, the instructions are very precise. Within 20 minutes of waking up, and before any coffee, drink 12 to 16 ounces of water. That's about 2 standard glasses. Not ice cold, but cool or room temperature is best. Now, to make this even more powerful, I recommend what I call a vitality boost. Add a small squeeze of fresh lemon juice and a tiny pinch of high-quality sea salt or mineral salt. The lemon juice provides vitamin C, which helps protect the delicate molecules of nitric oxide in your blood, the compound that helps your blood vessels relax and expand. The pinch of salt provides essential electrolytes like sodium and potassium, which you lose overnight through breathing and sweating. This isn't just water, it's a hydration and circulation supercharger. For part 2, the steady sipping system, the goal is consistency. Get yourself a reusable water bottle, maybe a 24-ounce one. Fill it up after your morning reset. Your goal is simple. Finish that bottle by lunchtime. Then you fill it up again, and your goal is to finish the second bottle by the time you're done with work for the day. Don't chug it. Just keep it with you and take a few sips every so often. That's it. It's a simple, visual way to ensure you're getting a steady supply all day long. This 2-part system is the foundation of everything. I had a client, a 62-year-old retired teacher named Mark, who implemented this system perfectly. He told me that after a few weeks, he noticed his energy levels were much more stable. But he also discovered a powerful synergy. He realized that when his body was properly hydrated, the other healthy things he was doing worked even better. He told me, "Doc, I eat a healthy salad for lunch every day, but now I feel like my body is actually using the nutrients from that salad. I can feel the energy from it in a way I couldn't before." He was exactly right. Proper hydration is the delivery truck. It's what carries all the other good things you do, the healthy food, the vitamins, the supplements, to the cells that need them. Without the delivery truck, the best nutrients in the world are just stuck at the warehouse. This system is the foundation that makes everything else work better. All right, we have covered a lot of ground today. So let's just quickly bring everything together. We've learned that starting your day already dehydrated, riding that destructive desert and flood cycle, and relying on thirst as your guide are 3 critical mistakes that are holding you back. And we've learned that the solution is a powerful yet simple 2-part system, the morning reset and the steady sipping strategy. But listen, knowledge without action is just entertainment. I want this to be a real change for you. So here is your simple 3-step action plan for this week. I like to call it your 1-week prescription. First, every single morning, I want you to drink 16 ounces of water. That's 2 glasses. Before anything else. Second, keep water with you throughout the day and just sip steadily. Your only goal is to finish most of it before dinner. And third, this one is the easiest. Just notice. That's it. Pay attention. Notice how your energy feels in the afternoon. Notice how clearly you're thinking. Just notice. Now, I know exactly what some of you might be thinking. You might be thinking, "Doc, I'll probably forget." And that's okay. Here's a simple trick. Tonight, before you go to bed, put a glass and a bottle of water right on your nightstand. It will be the very first thing you see when you open your eyes. You might also be thinking, can something this simple really make a difference? Please, do not dismiss this because it sounds too simple. In my 25 years of practice, I have learned one thing for certain. The most profound, lasting changes. They almost always come from the simplest habits, practiced with consistency. And remember why we're doing this. This isn't just about drinking water. This is about taking back a piece of your vitality. This is about having the stamina to keep up with your grandkids on the floor. It's about having the strength and independence to stay out of a nursing home. It's about having the confidence to live life fully on your own terms. Your independence is worth this simple effort. So if you are ready to take this 1-week challenge with me, if you are ready to invest in yourself, I want you to go to the comments section right now and type 2 simple words. Day 1. This is your public commitment to yourself, and it signals to everyone else here that we are on this journey together. And while you're there, be sure to hit that subscribe button because you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now that we've fixed your body's foundation with proper hydration, in our very next video, we are going to discuss the one type of exercise that has been shown to build muscle faster for men over 60, even if you have aching knees. I'm Dr. Audrey Wells, always here to help you stay strong and independent. I'll see you in the next video.